Nice to see you. So we're going to start, as always, with a little quiet sitting. I'm just taking in your names, and some of you have your cameras on, so I get to see you that way too. It's dark. You don't have your lights turned on yet, which is nice. Way to go. I like that myself. The light will come as we practice. Yeah, good job getting here. I can see some of you who are here were here for the Nod yoga class last night. I hope you slept well. Got up feeling all the chakras cleared out, ready for practice. Good. Okay, so let's take a seat for a few moments together, please. You can rest your hands in your lap as you like, and you're welcome to close your eyes. We arrive in the morning for practice with some confidence that the practice will help move something in us in a positive direction. We may also arrive with some confidence that practicing would be better than not practicing. We may arrive with a simple dedication. So to the part of you that has magnetically pulled you to your seat to be here right now, you can give your appreciation, gratitude. In yoga, we have a way of stating things like ahimsa, aparigraha, asteya, where we use the letter A comes before the word. Asteya means the absence of stealing. Ahimsa, the absence of harm. Aparigraha, the absence of grasping or hoarding. And so you can imagine you have your dedication right now to being here. And how would your day feel if you had the absence of dedication? What would the quality of the day feel like? And by coming to your mat and your practice, you have already expressed as well a desire for good self-care or self-respect. You can ask, well, and how would the day be if you had the absence of self-care or the absence of self-respect? What might happen then? Also, by being here, even though we're not in the same physical location, we have a sense of community, a community of practice. And you could ask yourself, how would the day be if you had the absence of community, the absence of a practice community? And with perhaps a deepening appreciation for your efforts to be here. Now lengthen your spine and also your breathing. So you can sense that your posture from within and the breath reflect your dedication. And as the breath reflects to you, like the quality of your sleep, the feeling tone of the mind, the experience of your digestion, your breath reflects all of that to you in terms of where it travels, how smooth, how consistent. You also have your breath as biofeedback for touching base with during the course of the practice. So with appreciation for that as well, please join your hands at your heart. And we'll chant the Gayatri mantra this morning. Let's begin. Om Bhurva Svaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Bhurva Svaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Bhurva Svaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Bhurva Svaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. No need to open the eyes. We're going to go directly to pranayama. So you can keep your seat upright. Make any small adjustments that you need. So we'll do a couple of kriyas. These means cleansing techniques. So these are ways to clear out the residue of, let's say, poor sleep or a busy mind, and to prepare us for the asana practice to be led by the breath smoothly under the wings of the bird, as if we were the bird, right? Or the breath smoothly helping the kite to be in the winds of the sky. So Bhastrika is first. Let's begin. Now inhale through the nose, up to suspension. Release the bandhas and exhale smoothly through your nose. Completely relax. Now we're going to repeat using 3 inhale suspensions at the end. Let's begin. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale up to suspension. Close the right, exhale left. Inhale both. Close the left, exhale right. And deeply relax. Now we're going to use a kriya that moves the arms. So what we're going to do is taking the hands up with the inhale, we pull down with the exhale. So the fingers go up with the inhale, you pull down with the exhale. And it's a brisk breath through the nose in both cases, up and down. Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale through the nose. Suspend. Exhale both nostrils. Inhale both. Close the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close the right, exhale left. Deeply relax. Place your hands on your shoulders. And then briskly exhaling through the nose. Come to center. Inhale, lower, middle, upper to suspension. Exhale through both nostrils, all the way to the end of the exhale. Tone the low belly, tone and tone and tone the belly. At the end of that tone, without inhaling, radically relax the belly. Then tone the body again to release the bandhas and inhale smoothly. Okay, interlace your fingers, please. Inhale, raise your arms up overhead. And exhale, side bend to your right. Keep your left hip grounded. Inhale, rise up to center. Exhale, side bend left. Keep your right hip grounded. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, press your arms out. Reach up through your chest and your heart. Clasp your hands at the small of your back. Inhale to open. And exhale to release. Rest your hands on your knees. Okay, we're going to repeat. Place your hands on your shoulders and then begin. Come to center and inhale, lower, middle, upper to suspension. Exhale through both nostrils, all the way to the completion of the exhale. You're going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. At the end of the exhale, without inhaling, relax the belly muscles. There'll be an automatic suction that happens in the inner body. Then tone the torso to release the bandhas and inhale smoothly. Okay, interlace your fingers. Inhale, raise your arms up overhead. And exhale, side bend right. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open. Clasp your hands. Inhale, raise your chest. Exhale to release. And then sit really still. Okay, let's practice that now just once, the exhale, where you're not really making a full uddiyana bandha, you're just having the exhale. You squeeze out, the belly squeezes, and then we release those belly muscles, and there's an internal vacuuming. So place the tip of the tongue behind the top two teeth. Come into your ujjayi breath now, and start with a full smooth inhale, a full smooth exhale, and let's use the second breath cycle to try the suspension. So now you're likely inhaling for the second time. Go up to a gentle suspension at the top. And then exhale from the lower belly, squeezing the breath out. At the bottom of the squeeze, you've toned the body as completely as you can. Without inhaling, relax the exhale muscles. Tone the bandhas on the torso, and then inhale smoothly. And one of the things that makes that effective when you're able to do it, and it's simple and should feel gentle, you have to have had the complete exhale to get there. I have to save this shawl from the cat, excuse me. Yeah, that one's not for you. So you have to have had the complete exhale to get the suspension to feel like a vacuum on the inside. So we'll practice some asana now that helps you to get a sense of your own strength for the complete exhale, because part of that is your willingness, but part of it is the strength of the lower abdominal muscles. Let me get this here. I guess I do need my glasses. Please come up to standing. There we go. Okay. So when you rise up to stand, take a wide stance in Sarahjoy. So your wide stance is about the length of one of your legs, so it makes an equilateral triangle. Go ahead and come down. And what we'll do here is what we did yesterday. I think it must have been, yesterday was Wednesday, it must have been the noon class. So on the inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine forward. And on the exhale, you bow down and curl the torso into flexion to help with the complete exhalation. And then make a smooth transition to the inhale where you rise up to your fingertips. And a smooth transition to the exhale at your body's pace when you're going to bow down between the inner thighs. Ujjayi inhale to glide forward. Little silence at the top of the inhale. On the inhale, pause. And ujjayi exhale to bow towards your legs. A silence at the end of the exhale. One more time, exhale. And now walk your hands forward to your downward dog pose or turn sideways on your mat if you have just one mat and step into downward facing dog pose, please. Now I'm going to ask us to mimic the same kind of experience where on the inhale, you just have a gentle sense of like a back bend in the spine. And on the exhale, a sense of a deep forward bend in the lumbar spine. It's not that I'm saying that that's structurally the way that you would always do your downward dog. I want you to sense the undulation of the spine by the support of the breath. Now inhale forward to plank pose. And in plank pose, as you exhale, I'm going to ask you to very lightly touch the kneecaps to the floor as if they were dragonflies on the surface of the water. And then inhale, reach back to plank pose. When you exhale, lower the knees just very slowly. Keep the back of your waist broad. So you're just barely touching the kneecaps down. You have to use your abdominal muscles. Inhale, reach to your plank pose. And exhale to lightly touch the kneecaps down. And 3 times more. Breathe in. And breathing out. Twice more. Keeping it smooth and steady. That's a part of how you're training yourself right now for pranayama and meditation. And then last one, inhale to plank pose. And reach backwards, downward facing dog pose. And then please step forward to the front of your yoga mat and come into Uttanasana. So we'll inhale, lengthen the spine forward again. Rise up to your fingertips or use your blocks and your fingertips. And then exhale to bow towards your legs and give yourself a real sense of like curling inward, like the nautilus, the seashell. Then inhale, glide forward again, a sense of unfurling the nautilus. And exhale to bow deeply towards your legs and press into your fingertips or your blocks so that you can access the deep low belly. One more time, exhale. And then inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, arms wide. Step into mountain pose for Surya Namaskar. Using the ujjayi breath, please. So in this sun salutation, we're going to be deliberately exploring how to tap into the strength in the lower abdomen. Okay, so ujjayi inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, bend your knees, come down to chair pose. Inhale, press down, rise up. Exhale, bow forward. As you're coming down, just trust that the low belly is going to get more toned and more toned, but then you press into your fingertips and curl in like a nautilus. And inhale, glide forward. Okay, exhale, take your left toes straight back. Round the spine like cat pose or like the nautilus. And then inhale, uncurl as you rise up. And then exhale, curl down like a nautilus as if you're going to go to cat pose, but reach your arms back towards your left toes. And then inhale, uncurl, raise up. So the spine is a little bit like cat and cow pose. So exhale, arms wide, curl down, reach back towards your left toes. So the torso may not even touch your right thigh because you've got this rounded cat pose spine or this sort of parachute experience. Let's rise up again with the inhale. And one more time, exhale, arms wide, curl, and reach back as you gaze back. Then lower your fingertips to the blocks. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, take the other toes back. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. And exhale, so we go arms wide, curl your chin down, round the spine, roll through the vertebrae, and reach back towards your right heel. And then inhale, glide back up. So uncurling the spine. And exhale, at the pace of your own body, of course. Twice more. And try to sense the smoothness with which you can move your spine. Like the beads on a mala, you want them to smoothly move through your fingers. And then exhale, arms wide, curl down, reach back towards your right foot. And then take both hands to your blocks and step firmly back to plank pose. Gaze down between your thumbs in plank pose. Let's take a deep breath in and strengthen your left leg. Then exhale your right knee up between your elbows. You can sustain the breath here. I believe that you can. And then lightly take your right toes back, breathe in. Exhale, left knee up between your elbows. Keep the breath smooth and your mind focused. And then step back to plank pose, inhale. Now step over one foot to point the toes. Step over the other foot to point your toes and come to seal pose. And then exhale to cobra pose. And then inhale, rise up to seal pose. And exhale to plank. Reach it back, downward facing dog pose. Now roll your knees to the floor and take one block to sit on in Vajrasana. You can sit medium or you can sit on the block flat. So medium, flat. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale, rise up. Keep both sitting bones grounded. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to open. Interlace your fingers. Roll your chest and heart open. And exhale to release. Now with your hands resting in your lap, come into the ujjayi breath. On the second or third breath cycle, try again the suspension process. So what you do is you exhale and squeeze. At the end of that kind of exhale, you relax the muscles that made the exhale, all the belly muscles that made the exhale. There'll be a little vacuuming in the inner body. Then you have to tone the body to release the bandhas before you inhale. Now come just to simple kneeling without a block, unless you need one for your knees or your heels. Place a block in front of you for your head, and we're going to also do exhale suspension here. So when you come down, we're going to come down, so you want to know that your head is going to be supported by the block. You can just check that out for yourself. Then make 2 fists and place them in the lower abdomen. So you're going to be coming down. The fists will help you with the exhale. You'll exhale completely, and then we'll have that time where we are radically relaxing, and the exhale breath is suspended out, so is the inhale breath. Okay, so making 2 fists. Let's begin with your inhale. And then exhale. Then inhale, rise up. Of course, at your own timing. Exhale, relax. So this is a process of learning to trust the exhale suspension, and we're just doing the deeply relaxing the belly muscles version of this suspension. You're not yet adding uddiyana bandha. Good. Now take 2 blocks, please, and step your right foot forward to the outside edge of your yoga mat and your left foot to the back left side of your yoga mat. So your feet are as wide as the mat, but you're in this kind of basic lunge position. And please come to your fingertips. So let's call this basic lunge for our purposes right now. And then you're going to be straightening the front leg. That'll be like Parsvottanasana. And we're going to use kind of a cat pose, curling down and in process. And then we'll be coming back up, and we'll look at a variation of Trikonasana, triangle pose, and so on. Okay, so starting at the basic lunge, please take a deep breath in, a smooth ujjayi breath. And then exhale and straighten both legs. Press down through your right heel and right toes. Breathe in and make a cat pose spine. Press down into both arms and all fingers and thumbs. Now exhale, curl down over your right leg and the space between your right thigh and the edge of your mat on the left. Inhale, glide up to your fingertips. That's your cat pose spine, and then exhale and open the pose to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale, sweep your left arm past your left ear. And then exhale, roll back down to the basic lunge where we started. Include picking up your left heel. Okay, so inhale here again, it's basic lunge with your feet wide. Then exhale, straighten your right leg. Now inhale to a cat pose spine, so your whole back is broad and round. Make the arms strong. And then exhale, touch your palms down to your blocks and curl the torso down and in. Inhale, float up to your fingertips. Keep the cat pose spine. And exhale, rotate your back heel, your left arm, Trikonasana. Inhale, sweep your left arm past your left ear. And one more time, exhale, roll your left fingertips down, pick up your left heel, return to your basic lunge. Let's step the right foot back and the left foot forward. So place your left foot to the outside of your mat, right foot to the back side of your mat. There's your basic lunge. And again, let's begin with the inhalation. And then exhale, straighten your left leg, energize your leg muscles. Now we go to cat pose with the long arms, with your fingertips and thumbs, perhaps with blocks. Exhale, curl down. So you're using the idea of the nautilus even more here. Inhale, raise up to your cat pose. Sorry, you guys, that was the kitty. Exhale, turn. I'll change that in just a moment. So come into Trikonasana. And then inhale, sweep your right arm past your right ear. And exhale, curl down again. So you're going to come to your basic lunge, bend your left knee. Inhale while you're here, energize your back leg. And then exhale, straighten your left leg, press into both arms and all fingertips and thumbs. And then exhale, curl down. So your cat pose now goes in like a little nautilus, like the seashell. And then inhale, rise up into the cat pose on your fingertips again. And exhale, pivot your right heel, sweep your right arm back, and roll that up to Trikonasana. Inhale your right arm past your right ear. And exhale, release down to the two blocks, pivot your back heel, basic lunge, and then step backwards, please. Downward facing dog pose. And then downward facing dog to child's pose. You don't know how to use the phone yet, huh? Yeah, I see that. Let's see if we can make that work. That's pretty good. So your brother is steady and quiet, and you are full of mischief right now. Okay, now from child's pose, again, please walk yourself back to kneeling. And take one block to sit on, medium or flat. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, side bend left. Rise up with your in-breath. Exhale to open. Inhale to open. And exhale to release. And sit quietly for a few moments right there. Now I'm going to ask you to notice when you're kneeling, which is what we're doing right now. This is called Vajrasana. When we're kneeling in this position, what happens with the exhale suspension? And then we'll take it to Baddha Konasana. So again, using the ujjayi breath, I'd like you to inhale smoothly and give yourself a full breath cycle. So on the second breath cycle, you can try the exhale, squeeze into the release where the vacuum happens. And you have to tone before you inhale. You release the bandhas before inhaling. Now, take your 2 blankets to sit on for Baddha Konasana. You can keep your knees supported by the 2 blocks. And I know that you don't all need to sit up high on these 2 blankets, so please make a thoughtful choice for yourself. The camera is a little crooked, so I'm going to get that. The cat who knocked everything over is now sleeping and purring. She probably startled herself a little bit too. So Baddha Konasana, please. And let's put 1 block under each knee or each shin. And again, you don't have to be really high up on your blocks. You might blankets. You might just be on the very front edge of the blankets. Okay, let's come forward for a few moments. Now, when you come forward, you're in a forward bend, and you can give attention to the process of the exhale like a nautilus. You don't have to make the whole spine more rounded. You are in a forward bend, but you can give attention to the process. How are you exhaling? What is happening between the pubic bone, the pelvic floor, the transverse abdominis, the inner abdominal muscles that could move back towards your sacrum? And how do you smoothly release those muscles as you begin to inhale? Remind yourself that the process is more like a dimmer switch, so it's not like you just flick the switch, exhales over, and then you turn the light switch on to the inhale. It's a dimmer switch, upwards into the inhale and downwards through the exhale. And then please walk yourself back up to sitting in your Baddha Konasana. And here we'll do also the ujjayi, where we go inhale at least 1 full breath cycle. So on the 2nd or the 3rd time, you can try the exhale, squeezing, releasing to see what the vacuum feels like inside. Remind yourself that you tone the body to help release the bandhas before you inhale. And just notice the sort of after echo that happens for your mind. Okay, now let's take these 2 blankets and use them for supported bridge pose. So I'm going to turn mine to give you a profile view. You can, of course, keep yours where they are. So the supported bridge pose, we're going to be using it to also help open the hips and the pelvis. And again, this exhale suspension thing, it happens, there's some positional benefits to understanding. Some positions make it more facilitated, some make it more difficult. So in supported bridge pose, place your feet flat on the floor and both hips on the pelvis, both hips on the blanket. So your pelvis is totally supported right now. And what you can do is just observe what happens now with the exhale in the region at the top of your pubic bone across the inguinal groove and into the hip and pelvic bones. So now you're not in a forward bend and we're not rounding the spine into cat pose, but you can explore the same muscles that were making that kind of exhale. Explore that as a process for the end of your exhale and try with the ujjayi breath one time, just one time is enough for right now, to have the exhale suspension. And this is the suspension where you haven't yet added the uddiyana bandha. The suction that happens automatically is something within, you're not yet adding to it. Remember that you're going to tone the body before you inhale. Okay, so there is a process that happens here. You're lying down now, and what you might have noticed is when you do that exhale, you're not going into flexion like a big curl like cat pose, but the same muscles can be used. And then after the exhale squeeze in that vacuum, the lower abdomen on the inside has a feeling of hollowing. You may sense the vacuum even more in the pelvis right now compared to when you were sitting upright. Okay, so keeping that in mind, please bring your right knee into your chest and lengthen your left leg out. We're going to stretch the left psoas for a few moments. It's helpful if we have less tension in the low belly or less tension in the inner abdominals. Exhale suspension in a moment when we add uddiyana bandha is going to massage the psoas. So we're going to release that for a bit first. So reach from your left hip into your left heel. And then bring your left knee back up to center and change sides. So hug your left knee in, lengthen out through your right leg. You're having an exploration this morning, so you can remind yourself you don't have to already know these things, you are learning them. And then please place both feet once again in your supported bridge pose. Now for this one, what we're going to do is when you sense the vacuum coming on, I want you to very slowly, like a dimmer switch, make a pretend inhalation. Once the vacuum has started, once you feel that that's already established, then you can add to it. It should not feel abrupt, and I don't want you to sense like you're whisking the inner body into some heightened state. So you're going to inhale, then we'll exhale, squeezing, squeezing. We release all the exhale muscles without inhaling. When you sense the vacuum is there, add to it with a slow motion pretend inhalation. Release that before you inhale. And then let your body rest there. So just try it one time. You are learning. And bring both knees up. Let's take both knees down to the left. Okay, and you may put a block on the outside edge of your blankets there to support your shins. Please twist to your right. So knees left and chest and heart to the right. Now, with great sensitivity and respect for the inner body, you can try one time just the passive suspension of the exhale, the initial vacuum that we make, not having to add uddiyana bandha. We'll try that in this position, the more simple version. Remember, you have to tone the inner body before you inhale, and then you'll inhale smoothly. Then using the low abdominal strength, exhale, bring your knees up to center, and then come down to the other side. So knees to your right now, and twist your chest and heart to your left. As needed, particularly I've got a couple of you in the class with a hip replacement. You could put a block between your knees. I have a hip replacement too, but it's on my right side, so I don't need it on this side. So now sensing again with great respect, right? You're learning something, you're not trying to be aggressive with the body. You can exhale to completion, and then holding the exhale out, simply relax the exhale muscles and notice the passive vacuum that happens. And when you complete that little exploration right there, then use an exhale to bring your knees back up to center. Rest in supported bridge pose again. Let yourself deeply rest here, observing the effect that you're having on the mind, your body. I have to prevent kitten disasters, excuse me. Okay, now let's try it one more time while you have your supported bridge pose. We're going to do the full exhale suspension with the uddiyana bandha. So what you do is you inhale, let the abdomen expand. You also expand the torso and up into the collarbones. When you exhale, it is a full torso exhale. You're squeezing the exhale out. At the end of that squeeze, you release the squeeze muscles without inhaling. Once the passive vacuum has begun, you can then add to that delicately by making a slow motion pretend inhalation. Remind yourself you have to release that before you feel like gasping so that you can inhale smoothly. And then rest in the after echo of that. Now release your hips and slide the blankets to go just behind your sitting bones. Lengthen your legs out. Please come to Shavasana. It's a really important Shavasana because it's quite a practice of cleansing in the inner body this morning. So I'm going to invite you to really rest. I know a lot of people, we carry hidden tension in the belly. We have the habit of flinching or freezing or holding, sometimes gripping. So this is a really important Shavasana for releasing those particular habits. To whatever extent you have the habit, and you can invite a release. Imagine the abdomen as a place of like deep refuge, the possibility of inner quiet. And allow everything to become quiet and still. Your body, your mind, the inner refuge of the belly. Welcome everything to be grounded and still. Your mind inside the refuge of the body, especially the refuge of the inner belly. Allow the stillness to continue. Invite it to become more deeply embodied. Now, without causing any unnecessary movement to the mind or the body, take a slightly deeper breath in. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Please bend your knees and transition to your side and then to your seat for meditation. When you come to your meditation seat, don't fiddle about, just come directly. Sense yourself like the body is the candle and the mind is the flame. Just lightly imagine the difference in your day if you had the absence of dedication, the absence of commitment, the absence of this self-care or self-respect, the absence of a community of practice. Okay. Bring your hands to your heart, please. And you may bow your head to your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Mm-hmm. Is this audible, Bella? You can hear the purring? Oh, you can't? Okay. I don't know how close he has to be to the microphone for that to be heard. Yeah.
So cute. I can't even, I just want to squeeze those guys.
I know. I sometimes feel the urge to squeeze him a little too hard myself. Ahimsa. Yeah.
I can hear the purring.